Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Tales of Phantasia. Last time, we got permission to enter the Moria Gallery and see what awaits inside it. This part, we're going to be finishing it off because, damn it, this dungeon is long and I didn't feel like putting you guys through this entire dungeon within a single part. Would have been really draining for all of you dudes and dudettes at home. Anyway, now that we activated that switch, we can actually bring the statue over and activate this switch to open the door. I should also make a note of something. This is actually the second time I'm recording this because for some odd reason my editing software didn't recognize my microphone immediately. So when I recorded the audio, apparently I did notice that the device setting on my audio recording was set to like Elgato or something. I think it's the Elgato sound capture or whatever. Unfortunately, that device is that device is, you can't do anything with unless you actually have the Elgato equipped, which I do own. It's obvious. I guess it's kind of obvious that otherwise I wouldn't have the software. But anyways, that new enemy would just fly. The huge fly. It dives at you, but I don't think it does much else. If it's able to like do any special attacks, I wouldn't know because I take that thing out rather quickly. I'm gonna activate this switch here. Don't walk on the other one, otherwise it'll just close the door. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a yawn there. I guess that's what happens when you try to record the same freaking part twice. Anyway, this dungeon has a really annoying gimmick where you have to repeatedly use the Sorcerer's Ring. I lost count of the amount of times I had to go into my equipment, switch out an accessory for the Sorcerer's Ring, and then equip back, just to have to equip the Sorcerer's Ring a few minutes later. Stuff like that really drives me up a wall. It's so good that in later games the Sorcerer's Ring becomes a separate item and you don't have to actually equip it. I'm very thankful for that. Anyway, with the gimmick with these next few floors is that you're enshrouded in darkness. Your only source of light is the small circle that's envelops you right now. It kind of makes me think of the Dark Cave from Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Specifically Heart Gold and Soul Silver, whereas in the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where like the entire screen was black. In the remakes, you're also enveloped by a circle. But unfortunately, in this case, there's no way to increase the amount of light. What we have, the amount of light we have right now is what we got, what we're stuck with. Apparently, we got some random geckos in this dungeon too, for whatever reason. All right, for this little puzzle, puzzle right here, you only need to really move the third statue. Reason being is that the other ones don't do anything. Just keep in mind you can't exactly walk out because removing the statue off the third statue off the switch will close the door that you got in with. The reason why you had to do this is because there was a lemon gummy in front of a war panel. If we were to try and get to the lemon gummy past the war panel, I think it would be teleported back quite a ways. Also, we got spikes throughout the floors, which is really darn annoying considering the fact that it's just like the Shoki from the previous Long Valley dungeon. Excuse me. Where you can take a lot of pot shots. Okay, there's torches and light apparently. So what do? Bring out our Sorcerer's Ring and light it. Apparently, so if we use the Sorcerer's Ring to light torches, would that technically mean that the Sorcerer's Ring is always considered a fire elemental thing? I mean, I guess it makes sense considering that Tales of Symphonia has the Sorcerer's Ring. It automatically starts out as a fireball. The only difference is that fireball can actually stun enemies, whereas this one doesn't. It just activates switches from afar. Not to mention, Symphonia does a lot more interesting things with the Sorcerer's Ring. Symphonia also does a lot of things that aren't very interesting. Block puzzles galore. Anyway, this room is a little interesting. Like that chest was right in our reach, but we tried to go for it and we were teleported back to the previous room. The gimmick with this room is that in order to get the chests, you have to go in the opposite direction. You sort of have to go around in order to reach the chest and open it. Otherwise, you're just gonna get teleported back out. The problem though is that you get the chest, you do the little puzzle thing, you get the chest, and you leave the room and you're like, okay, there was just a chest in there, so what do I do now? What you're actually supposed to do is do this puzzle repeatedly. Because after two or three chests, or 2 or 3 more chests anyway, you'll be teleported to a different room altogether. I actually got stuck here for a little while because of that reason. And I felt very stupid after the fact. Gonna fill up my food sack a little bit. You don't have to necessarily fill up your food sack too much, considering that all the enemies in this dungeon don't really give you much trouble. The only exception to that is the Azas, back from when we fought them in Molten Cave. Every enemy that we fought previously that are here have slightly improved stats. With Azza, it's a little different because she also, the Azzas, I think it's a she anyway, the Azzas now have access to the Eruption spell, which we've seen Arch use a number of times earlier. So that's gonna make the Azzas a little bit less tolerable, because they're able to actually deal some damage. The Tractor Beam is a very, it's not the best spell after a while. The only time you ever want to really use them is on, like, the Claydol-like enemies, the gnome-ish enemies. It's weird, because, like, the Summon Spirit Gnome is, like, it's like a peg with, like, eyes. And the actual garden gnomes aren't actually called gnomes. It's weird. Anyway, that item which is required, Mystic Broom, immediately equip it onto Arch. It's a new weapon for him. Now that we finally did that, we got a new puzzle here. Okay, puzzle in massive quotes, because you don't have to, like, activate anything in particular order. All you have to do is bring out your Sorcerer's Ring and light each torch on the, I don't know what these are called. I know they have a specific name for somewhere on the internet. But anyways, the issue is that depth perception in a 2D game. You think you're standing in the right place to shoot the Sorcerer's Ring, but you'll outright miss the darn thing because you weren't standing in the place the game wanted you to. Which could be a little tad annoying. Speaking of tad annoying, I have to disequip the Sorcerer's Ring again, because I want to keep the Battle Rune on, improved attack and all. Oh yeah, that's the other problem with this dungeon. Being given the opportunity to take a different path, taking said path, and then getting led to a wall of nothing. Rock Tunnel and Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow did this. Like, you could either go this way where all the trainers are, or you could go this way and potentially find a treasure. Nope! I've played Pokemon Red and Blue for a very long time now. Rock Tunnel has nothing in it except the treasures. Whenever you try to go off the on the off-beaten path, you try to take an alternate path besides the one you have to take, it's always a dead end, and I hate that in RPGs. Don't give me the option to go multiple pathways, and having most of them except for the one be dead ends. Like, I absolutely hate that. My curiosity, I have curiosity for a reason. For you to reward me for said curiosity. That's why I love my 2D Sonic games so much. Like, dang it, stop doing that. Now with this lantern, you don't want to actually use the Sorcerer's Ring on. If you do, you will get shot by some arrows. I actually sort of had a dumb moment when I did this, because, like, I equipped the Sorcerer's Ring, it's like, okay, now I have to light this switch now. I sort of stand too close, I interact with it, it tells me to throw a switch. It's like, oh, okay. That's all you gotta do, though. You just, face it, press the action button, whatever you have that assigned to, and then, you'll be able to throw a switch to open the door. Now, this part kind of sucks, because you have to, traverse through the spikes. There's no, like, platform to make you float over the spikes. I'm sorry, that was my squeaky chair again. And you're constantly taking pot shots, which is really annoying. That yellow cake, though, we don't have a use for that cake right now, but we will in the near distant future. Which is another thing I want to bring up. A small number of games do this, where, like, they'll give you an item and you never find a use for it until so late into the game that you throw it away, like, prematurely, and then when you realize you could use it for, like, something, you sort of, like, baseball, and you're just like, why did I throw that away? That's probably because of the impulse that I haven't used this for so long, it's taking up space in my inventory. I'm gonna just drop it because I don't think I'm gonna need it. And then lo and behold, you actually need it. Don't go up that path, that's another example of forkways leading to nothing. It's just a bunch of spikes, it'll take a bunch of damage for no good reason at all. Press the switch over here. This will open the door back at the beginning of this section. The only problem is it also does a little something else, which I'm not too fond of. Flamethrowers! Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, I actually just realized this. Yeah, you are going to take pot shots from this, but if you activate that switch that's right next to them, the water will put out the flames. It's just that, why would you even bother at that point? Because we're at the end of the dungeon, folks, dudes and dudettes. I don't think there's a reason to go back to this dungeon. Or at least, I don't think there's a reason to go back to this dungeon. We got two, portals here. You want to take the one to the right first. What is this? It's some sort of ancient tablet. Look at these runes. I've never seen anything like them. It says, death is always at your back, for all return to the earth from which they came. The fire of life is at the births to come. The tears of a mourning woman are on your left, and the wind blows forth from your right. I'm sorry, I need a breath. My throat's kind of dry right now. I haven't had anything to drink for a little bit now. I don't feel like interrupting the recording in order to do that. Not as ditzy as you think. They say otherwise. Regardless, what does the tablet mean? I'm a little rusty, let me see here. Apparently it's Elven language. I think these are references to the four elements and declaration. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to be directions for each. That really messed me up. Damn it. If you go to this room before you go to the room on the right, you won't be able to do anything. Like, nothing happens if you interact with these little I don't know what these are called, just like platforms or whatever. Anyway, regarding what Arch said, from the bottom you want to summon the Earth Spirit Gnome. From the pedestal on the right, you want to summon the Water Spirit Undine. From the top pedestal, you want to summon the Fire Spirit Ifrit. And then lastly, on the right, you summon the Wind Spirit Sylph. Sylph. If you do this in a different order, nothing will happen, and you'll be asked to redo it. Who has awakened my slumber? Who's there? Come back to the obelisk. I love how my old man voice sounds like Marv the Martian. Anyway, you want to get prepared for this one, because this fight is actually pretty tough. Whereas the two previous bosses, Ifrit and, Gnome, I'm sorry, I forgot them for a second. Ifrit and Gnome, they didn't give you much trouble. This boss, on the other hand, will give you some trouble. I actually died on this boss fight once. You won't see that I cut that out via editing. I don't need you guys sitting through all my failures now. I'm not a failure, damn it! Or at least I don't want you guys to think I am. Is that Maxwell? Are you Maxwell, Lord of the Worldly Elements? Yes, I am. You are the one who awakened me? Yes. What is it you desire of me? I'm looking for the ring I need to contract with Luna, the Queen of the Moon. I see. Entrance to that room is forbidden. If you want to, I've got to test you first. Alright, it's time for a boss fight. We've got Maxwell here. Okay, for one, since he's floating, Tractor Beam is completely useless. You can't do anything about that. So sorry. In terms of methods, you want to use your Tiger Teeth, Phoenix, and Tiger Teeth, Undine, Ifrit, doesn't really matter. I don't know, for some reason... Okay, this is something I should probably bring up. I've been allowing the AI to act as they wish. I will be changing that in a later part. Because for some reason, Clark's AI is kind of garbage. And he doesn't really use the most effective summon spirits. He did use Undine there, finally. After, for some reason, using Gnome, even though I don't think Gnome is going to be very useful in this situation. Anyway, with Maxwell himself, though, he can do three things. One, he can nullify his defenses, so the only amount of damage he'll do is like single digits. The second thing, he can charge through your party members and deal some damage there. And then there's this stupid attack, the molecular attack. A single hit doesn't deal that much damage. I think it's like 300 or something, which in this point of the game isn't really a whole lot. Here's the problem, though. Not only is it able to hit all of your party members, it's able to hit all your party members multiple times. So you can take from like 300 to possibly 900 to 1,000 HP of damage. This fight can get out of hand really freaking fast because of that. What I suggest you doing is having Arch use the hammer on him as much as you possibly can. Arch using Thunderblade, Clark using Undine, and you using something like Tiger Teeth. You need to prioritize spells and summoning for this fight, because when he's using the molecular attack and you are successful in using a spell or summon, it will cancel his attack completely and he'll he'll be sort of like, hey guys, come on. So that's gonna be good to know. Phoenix, you can use when he's at a standstill. Sorry, still trying to catch myself. Let me actually readjust my seat a little bit. There we go. If you use Phoenix, actually, you just saw it there. If you use Phoenix when he's doing the molecular attack, it isn't really going to do anything because, your character is just going to phase right through the blasted old man. So, Tiger Teeth, I highly recommend. Blade Storm if you could get him in a corner like so. And that's it. Again, this fight, it can get out of hand, especially if he's able to, use his molecular attack a number of times. The heavy stone we got, so that's pretty cool. Aren't you the powerful ones? Please allow us to enter the treasure room. Alright, not only that, I offer you my powers on a contract. I never thought I'd have this opportunity. Maxwell, the Lord of the Worldly Elements. This is truly an honor. Thanks, Pops. Pops? I don't get it. Regardless, we'll contract through your turquoise ring. Spirits of magic, I beseech you, grant me the power of judgment. My name is Clark. Now, I believe if you come here without the turquoise ring, I'm not sure why you would, because the chest is literally right there. I don't exactly know what happens, but I like to believe you have to leave the room, come back with the turquoise ring, then he'll, do the contract. Either that, or you won't be able to do battle with him. Anyway, now that we've got that summoned spirit, let's get these rings. Look at all this treasure! Look, a ring! Really? It's just a normal ring. I found a ring too! Here's another. They're broken. None of the other chests seem to have rings in them. Well, Clark, you're the smart one, now what? Amazingly enough, I haven't a clue. Let's consult with Roomglow. Alright, so we were able to get the summoned spirit Maxwell, that's cool, but our mission was sort of a bust. No pun intended, because the rings are literally busted up, they're in pieces, so we now have to go get them fixed. Now that we actually have this shortcut opened up, we can take it and make our way out of the dungeon. But that heavy stone we acquired after the battle, that's a fairly useful item, not completely useful. It pretty much nullifies tractor beams against the character that has it equipped. Essentially, it makes your character so heavy that the tractor beam can't exactly lift you off the ground. And those armors, we're actually going to be, the question mark armors, I'm going to be explaining those in the next part. But, now that we've managed to successfully get Maxwell, but failed to get rings, well, we got the rings, but they're broken, so. Next time on Tales of Phantasia, we're going to go speak with Roomglow and see what we can do next. Until then, I got a juice.